Hello everybody and welcome back to Wynncraft, and today, I'm actually going to be doing a video on the changes I'd like to see and new additions, some of which they actually basically already put plans for. First I'd like to go over things that are really linked to content. I'd like to see the Ocean update and the Fruma update. Both of those would be really cool. And I'd like to see Void become kind of more independent of Sky Islands. I feel like the Void has a lot of potential, and I feel like linking it to Sky Islands is not really the best way to go. Make it larger and more independent would be great. This includes adding secrets to it, as well as adding secrets to Jungle and Ocean, because those would be a good place to have secrets. In addition, I feel like some areas should have extra jump height. I mean, I don't really need the extra jump height in areas. I actually have, 5 right now. So yeah. May notice that actually gets me a little higher. It's because jump height is actually a bit different than it says. So I can actually get relatively high. It's not 1 block per, and it's not 0.5 blocks per. It's weird. But anyway, I also think they should add a raid to Molten Heights, essentially. It's something they should do, I think. I think that they could, if they did that right, make a pretty cool raid, honestly. There. I feel like adding one more raid would probably be good. And I think adding a hidden island that is covered by mists, that when it teleports, that's pretty small, but it teleports you to a larger area, that would be roughly level 60 to 80, could be actually cool, because it feels like once you get to that point, you're spending you're spending a bit of time on the islands, but really you're spending most of your time at Gavel. And it kind of feels like that's a bit iffy. It'd be nice to not have to do that, So, then there's basically balancing changes. One of the things that I saw a lot was because they nerfed overall abilities because of overpowered combos. I saw that happen a lot, and a lot of people complained because if you don't have those, you're still getting nerfed. And that can and I think focusing on actually, removing the ability to use said broken combos by, making it so it doesn't work with the ability could actually be a lot better. I don't know. I also think that I saw a lot of people suggesting combining Second Life and Mortar and adding a different one, and I think that probably is a good idea. The thing is, its DPS is awful. I feel like you can improve it just a little bit by having at least one or more upgrade that actually focuses somewhat on damage. Where you could, have it so each percentage of your health that you would lose if you didn't have defense is, added to damage or something like that. It might have to be, I don't know how broken that would be, so it probably would have to be scaled up or down depending on it, but I also like that because I feel like that is much more independent of other combos. And I feel like it would not be broken if you scaled it to the right amount. But it would be relatively consistent, which would be good. The next thing is, I think one of the things I've seen is people complaining about Mythic Chance. Now, this is something that I'm not actually sure of, and I think people would have to pull. But mythics, it seems like they wanted to fix the economy probably by decreasing mythics or make them more rare. However, like, making mythics more rare just really makes the economy just kind of like go really badly. So honestly, people generally just buy mythics, I think, more than, like, there are people who definitely search for it, but no, I didn't search for pure, I just kind of got it, and when it came to warp, I just grinded 1.1 million for warp, you know, but anyway, it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't really think that, I think potentially a change could be to, like, increase chance, because they lowered it, because everyone was relatively realistic, but then make it soulbound, but, I'm sorry, I think that's not the wrong term, I think they actually call it, what do they call it? I'm trying to remember, I don't know. It's something, I think I don't know what they call it, but it basically means you can't trade it on the trade market. And that could make it a bit better. So, no trades for it. That could be awful, it could be good, I don't know what people would feel, how people would feel about it, so probably it would be a poll, rather than actually just making the change. One of the things I have is 2 notes that are basically do not unnerf loot run. I actually, found loot run was my best grinding method by far, and I'm bad at it. I have agility set up, and I was completing, and the first time I do it, I was getting 50 to 100 pulls. Well, counting, generally counting in basically re-pulls, being able to, re-pull things because of basically refreshing it. But that doesn't even, I'd say that doesn't even, come, but that still, for me, was by far my best grinding method in terms of money. Way better than the forgery, or anything else, to be fair. The forgery takes a lot of runes, so it makes sense, but it's, by far, was, the best, and it's, it should not be the best by that much when I'm bad at it. It's, there are people getting, thousands of pulls, and one of the things they did with it is they actually made it so it was, by adding all of those missions, that nerfs the people who are getting insane things through combos, but it actually buffs the people who are getting low amounts. Who are getting really low amounts. And I don't think it would buff me, because I'm very dependent on the repulls. Though I'm not sure. I think I would be nerfed. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure. But the people who have, 1,000 definitely needed to get nerfed. I mean, this is no. That is not. And it also added variety, as I think someone said that, and that was definitely true. It did add variety. And then 6... that wasn't... I don't have a 6. Why was I thinking I had a 6? Huh. So then there's, there are 2 small bits. Animation. I think reflection should be animated. I think it'd be cool if reflection was animated. Reflection, ID. Have some on here. And it's if it was animated, that would be kind of neat. You know, but... mobs, I think one of the things that was cool and unique about Annihilation was that the mobs boosted Annihilation. And I think that was actually a really cool concept, and you have to kill them quickly or it becomes more powerful. That, I actually like that. I think there should be more of those. So I think, one that actually, was more orb-based, you know, it had orbs, floating, and it was like absorb them after a certain time and get more powerful. So not all of them would be out constantly they get more powerful. Some of them would be at a certain time they get more powerful from it. But that would be pretty cool. That comes to like IDs. I feel like IDs, there are a few things that, because one of the problems is you have a limit to what elements you can use in a certain thing. For example, like Ice Snake is basically water and regular damage, right? You're not going, and then there's like teleport, like it's like some, like you can get some stuff, added elements to it, but it's honestly really limited, honestly, to the specific elements in terms of what does damage, because some of the things do a lot less damage. So it really becomes you need Meteorite if you're wanting to, like, deal a ton of damage, which basically means you need Earth, and, like, I mean, like, I guess Sigils are there, but the Sigils kind of suck. I'm not going to lie, they aren't very good. They don't compare. So, like, that really makes me feel like, you know, it really just feels like you kind of have to. By the way, I actually am on the beta, which is kind of funny. But anyway, it's like, but that's like what made, but anyway, I feel like IDs that change elements of spells would be cool. But another thing I think would be cool is if IDs actually replaced some spells and allowed you to do different ones. Now, the one problem with this is that they wouldn't necessarily be boosted by other things in the tree, so they might have to be a bit more powerful, but that would allow different routes in the tree, and like could be beneficial, and it could be great if it had other elements. So like having like a thing like basically where it like at a certain point it erupts a fire column for like mage, for example, would allow you to have fire be a major element that you use, which would actually add to mage, and it could do enough damage that it was actually realistic. It wouldn't be as large AoE, so it might have more damage, and because of that might allow it to basically fire, and the fire element would be significant to it. But anyway, yeah, there's that. Adding a major ID that soars reflection damage and casts it when you use War Scream could be very cool. For example, like War Scream, just like, basically it stores the reflection damage and casts it all at once on all of the mobs, like an AoE thing. I don't know how powerful that would be, so it might have to be tinkered with, but that would be cool, especially if they animated reflection. Lastly, there's basically, I feel like changing elements for spells could be neat, because with IDs, because let's be real, spells, this is also to address the same problem that I was mentioning earlier with like spell replacements, but because there's a limit to how many spell replacements you could do, you could probably only do like one per class, really. Comes down to it. The other thing would be to change elements of the spell and damage through major IDs. But yeah, that's about all I have to suggest for changes and basically recommendations for Wynncraft. Yeah, that's about all. Bye.